Let me go to Republican presidential candidate Asa Hutchinson right now, live from Iowa. Among many posts he's held in government over the years, whether it's a governor in Congress, as U.S. attorney, and now here you are running against someone who's spending a lot of his time in a courtroom. Your reaction to what we saw today from Donald Trump?
Well, historically, honesty in business is important for somebody running for president of the United States. And here you have former President Donald Trump being found guilty of civil fraud. This is shameful. And this is a long list. This is the beginning of a long list of challenges that he faces. He's already been found to have committed sexual abuse in another trial by a jury of his peers. You've got 4 criminal cases going. He's in court regularly. And so we've never seen anything like this. And any of these items would bring any normal candidate down, but he continues on. And this is such a distraction. It's going to be a challenge for Donald Trump as you go into next year, fighting off these challenges and trying to win these votes. We're competing against it because we think there's a better path with having a nominee that doesn't have these distractions and can actually lead our country to our party to win in 2024.
What about your party? Because one of the interesting things that I pick up on when I ask you a question about Donald Trump is that you answer it directly, and you're eager to do so, it sounds like. Whereas when we speak or hear from some of the other candidates in the race or even their surrogates, that's not the case, with the obvious exception of Chris Christie, who dropped out last night. So what about the state of the Republican Party right now, comparing and contrasting themselves to Donald Trump as the front runner in the race to be the nominee again?
Well, first of all, there's some questions last night in the debate that had I had an opportunity to answer those as to whether I agree with Donald Trump's constitutional views. No, I do not. I have different views than he does. And so that's important to make our case. In terms of the electorate and the Republican Party, part of my job is to win votes, but also is to really shout a warning to our party that we have a serious challenge ahead for us with the potential of having a front runner and a nominee who could be convicted of a felony. Right. And it could come late enough next year that throws our party in disarray.
But it was only you and Christie that raised your hands, right, back then, or didn't raise your hands, saying, well, would you support someone who was a convicted felon? Everybody else did, and a lot of other people in the party say they would. Even the chairman of the party we spoke to on this show said she would.
I'm the only candidate in the race now that hasn't promised a pardon to Donald Trump during the campaign. And I've said, as you pointed out, that I would not support a convicted felon. And that mirrors what the electorate says. Even though they might support Trump now, if he's convicted of a crime, they're not going to elect him president of the United States, nor should they. And so I'm making my case on border security. No one has experience like I have on, as former head of the DA, as fentanyl crisis that we have, that I can address that. As governor, balancing the budget. So I know what needs to be done. I make my case on positive terms, but I also think that warning is important.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.